Hello and welcome back to another episode of Professor Natalie Games. I'm Dr. Natalie Van Dusen, and I'm a professor at the University of Alberta, and I'm a scholar whose research focuses on Old Norse language, literature, and culture. And I'm here reacting to God of War Ragnarok with gameplay by Cleansed in Fire. Let's get back to it.
Where would you muckspouts even be without me?
And what is it you expect to need Kratos for, Highness? Clearly you've been quite capable of breaking Odin's curses on your own.
The other curses grew weak from Fimbulwinter, but I still needed help to break them. This one is held strong.
So all that trying to kill him, that's just your goddessy way of asking for help?
I don't recall asking you to come along.
It's 'cause you didn't. I got an old drinking buddy I've been meaning to look up once this joint were back on the map. Got a hunch lending you mokes a hand's gonna end me up where I'm going.
And what makes you think that?
'Cause last I heard tell, she was running with that beefwit brother of yours.
Freyr is not a part of this.
Well, my hunch says otherwise. Scrote, too.
I can feel the pull of the binding curse. Its source is further in. Follow me.
Muggier than a Muspelheim shit pit out here.
And nearly as fragrant. Suppose Fimbulwinter's to blame. But if it helps these two find peace...
This is a temporary alliance, Mimir. Anything beyond that would require trust.
Oh, please. You know damn well Kratos isn't the true cause of your suffering.
You're both as much a part of my suffering as anyone.
Hey, how's about a riddle to lighten the mood? One run with no legs.
Easy, I knows. You'll have to try harder than that, Brock.
Just you wait, smart guy.
Through here.
Oh no. Something's wrong. My spell, I can feel it slipping.
Well, that's Fimbulwinter for you.
You don't understand. I'll be torn from the realm.
What can be done?
Something I was hoping to avoid. Seems I don't have much choice. Valky! Come on then.
You had a way around Odin's curse this whole time.
No. I discovered it once you unlocked realm travel, and it solves very little. This form is extremely limiting.
Just to pause quick to talk a little bit about Freya and the falcon form. So in the mythology, we find kind of this association or the indication that Freya has a falcon form in a couple of different places. The first is in a poem called Thrymskvida, which is the poem that's really famous for being the one where Thor has to dress up as a bride to get his hammer back from the giants. And in this one, Freya lends Loki her falcon form. And in Snorri's Prose Edda, there's also the myth of Idun and the theft of her apples, in which Loki also borrows Freya's falcon form. So
That's Fimbulwinter for
Do
you.
not.
Brother, do you really think she'll let us off the hook if you help her?
I do not know. I choose to help. After that, we will see.
Boy, you don't miss a scrap of loot, do you?
Where has everyone gone, I wonder?
They must have withdrawn, hidden themselves out in the wilds and covered their tracks with magic. No way of knowing how many are left or how to reach them.
Aesir ran cockshot all over this place, huh?
You can thank Mimir for that.
War with the Vanir was never my idea. My idea was brokering the marriage to end it.
A great success that was. Obviously, the peace was no less a disaster than the marriage. Did he invade again as soon as I was exiled?
Being here against bringing back memories of that wedding of yours. Fancy folks and quality meat. Though I remember your brother stirring up an awful scene.
Why do you keep bringing him up? My brother is no concern of yours. Do you understand?
Oh, I understand plenty. Listen, I know how bad it can get with one's own kin. Sindri and I were on the out so long it was like not having a brother at all. Now, I take some of the fall for that on account of me walking out. But it never stopped me blaming him most. Any of this sound familiar so far?
And what is your point?
My point is, that weren't the end-all of things after all. Once we got our heads right, it was like no time had passed. He went straight back to being as big a pain in my ass as he ever was. That's family. You gotta keep them close, or they make you good and crazy.
Why do you think I need to hear any of this right now? My focus is on regaining my freedom, and I have no intention of being distracted.
Look, all I'm saying is, if you happen to find yourself talking to your brother, maybe the worst words said between you don't have to be the last one said.
Enough! When the day comes to face Freyr again, it will be when I am standing on my feet and free. You understand me? It will not be while I'm stuck in this preposterous situation.
Got a case of pride, I get it. Hope yours clears up quicker than mine did.
A touching story, that was.
Bite me.
You wish.
What did Odin do to drive everyone away? What weapons did he make the dwarves build him? How much was just Mjolnir? Can one man do this much damage?
Depends on the weapon and the man.
Hold up! If you want to keep your insides inside. Yeah! All yours, big guy. Your people not receiving visitors?
I wouldn't know. They're not my people anymore.
Come on up. Bet you're glad old Brock's around to save you. Uh-oh. Shit!
We should probably go get him.
Keep your guard up.
Quiet.
What do we have here? Oh, One Eye, send another god to do his dirty work.
Thor too busy.
We do not serve Odin.
No? Picked a dangerous place for sightseeing, then. All right.
Now. No need for threats, brother.
Oh, I know that voice. You know, I'd cut off your head, but it seems somebody beat me to it.
Aye. Oh, quite observant, brother.
Oh, no, you're no brother of mine. You sold my sister to that prick.
We brokered a peace.
Oh! Did you now? Where is it? And where is my sister? Some dungeon in Asgard? Is she even alive? Answer me. I guess we'll settle for blood.
Stop!
What is that? Why do you speak in her voice?
It's me, Ingvi. There's no time to explain, just listen. These men are in my service. I'm here to reclaim what's been taken from me.
It's too late. You can't undo what's been done.
I can. I will. Now let them pass.
Okay, so when Brock was kind of hinting about the relationship between Freya and Freyr and kept bringing him up, I was really hoping that we were going to be able to meet him in this episode, and of course, we're not disappointed here. So I wanted to pause and talk a little bit about the god Freyr as the mythology represents him, to sort of provide a little bit of a context for what we're seeing here. So Freyr is obviously the brother of Freya, and they're both fertility gods, and that's really typical for fertility gods to be twins, brother sister, kind of in different religious traditions. They are the children of Njörður or Njord, who is the sea god, and depending on what sources you're looking at, their mother is Skadi, who is a giantess who's associated with the mountains. So they're both fertility deities. She's more associated with love and reproductive fertility, as well as war and death. She's kind of one of these goddesses of many faces, much like Odin's a god of many faces, and she mirrors Odin in that way. But Freyr is associated with abundance and prosperity, and a good harvest, things like that. And he really is kind of a textbook fertility god. He has a connection to horses, and his special object is a fancy ship called Skidbladnir, which is said to be the best of ships. And it's so big that it can fit all of the gods inside of it, but it can also be folded up and tucked into a pouch. He was also given Alfheim as his tooth gift, as I've mentioned previously. But I do like that she calls him Yngvi as kind of a pet name, because this is an alternative name for Freyr. Snorri Sturluson also wrote, in addition to the Prose Edda, a number of other sagas. He wrote the saga of the Inglings, which is about kind of this royal dynasty in Scandinavia that's said to be descended from Freyr. And they're called the Inglings, according to Snorri, because an alternative name for Freyr is Yngvi. And what else? Freyr faces off against the fire demon Surtur at Ragnarok, which, because of his association with kind of agricultural fertility, a good harvest, and that kind of thing, that's a really kind of symbolic kind of final match to have between fire and a god that represents abundance and prosperity in that particular way.
So, you serve my sister.
Oh,
Oh. Don't we all? Put him down.
Brock.
What's with leaving me hanging like that, you crusty hag?
Oh, can it, Blobber? Come here.
Well, found who I was looking for. Think I'm gonna stay and catch up.
Oh, are ya now?
do as you wish.
Brother, if you wouldn't mind, I'd have a word with Lord Freyr.
We wish this camp kept secret. Understood?
I will not compromise it.
No, we wouldn't dare.
Good.
So you can come and go between the realms whenever you please. You're very welcome.
Oh. This here's my family, and I mean much to you, but means plenty to me.
It does too mean something to me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made up my Conquerhead.
Spies, man, moonbeams. I didn't realize the Halter brothers were back in business.
We're even cohabitating like a proper family. So don't tell me!
Okay, well, then you can help me at the forge while you spill everything. Now, Brock, ain't you gonna introduce me to this tall glass of milk you got for a bodyguard?
Of course I'm gonna! That's Kratos! Though you can call him whatever pops into your head. Kratos, Lunda. We go back.
Well, I guess that's better than nothing.
Sorry we got off on the wrong foot there, stranger. We're pretty used to only seeing Aesir in these parts. Don't typically get friendly faces. That is a friendly face, right?
His name is Kratos, and no, the Aesir are in Vanaheim.
Yeah, we've been occupied since I lost count.
What is your plan?
Still kind of working on it.
Brother, I think I could be of use here. If my counsel is welcome.
Oh, I'll take what I can get.
Your mission will go considerably smoother without me in the mix. Come back for me when you're done.
Hey, Kratos. As long as you're working for my sister, careful you don't screw up. She's not too big on forgiveness.
The other thing I forgot to mention about Freyr is that he's married to a giantess named Gerður. And he gets married to her by basically like forcing her into marrying him by sending his servant Skirnir to, threaten her in a number of increasingly severe ways until she finally agrees to marry him. But that kind of is something that the Vanir gods have in common. So we have Freyr and Njörður, who both are married to female members of the Jötnar, or giantesses, whereas the Aesir might have children with members of the Jötnar, female members of the Jötnar. They never marry them. And this is sort of thought to kind of indicate the kind of inferior status of the Vanir among the Aesir more generally, since the kind of end of the Aesir-Vanir War, when the Aesir came out victorious and the Vanir were sort of subsumed under them as this kind of inferior subordinate group. So they have to look outside of the gods for mates. So just something else that indicates kind of the relationship between the Vanir and the Aesir, are these marital relationships.
A bit late for that one, I'm afraid.
Yeah, all really consistent with this kind of domination of the Aesir over the Vanir.
Now that the distractions are out of the way,
I have words if you would hear them.
speak then.
This anger you feel for your brother, I know it well.
You have a brother?
His name was Deimos. When we were boys, he was taken by two gods obsessed with prophecy. The gods of my homeland seldom left survivors, so by the time I learned he had lived, it was too late for amends. His anger poisoned him against me. But I never stopped loving my brother.
You think my anger is irrational? You've known Freyr for mere moments, and already you're taking his side?
I am not taking his...
No. You're just sharing your thoughts on a subject you know nothing about. I know what you're doing. Trying to play on my sympathies in the hope I let you live.
I am only trying to help. The mistakes of the past need not be repeated.
I don't need to hear about your mistakes. I've made enough of my own, thanks. Everyone is so eager to advise me, as if any of you know me or what I need. The biggest loss in my life is due to you saving me when I specifically told you not to. Well, it was my family, my mess. I know Baldur wasn't perfect, but he was mine.
I know.
You know? You think you can even begin to understand the pain of losing a child?
Yes, I do.
There was another. Before Atreus?
Her name was Calliope.
Calliope. What happened?
It was long ago.
Never mind. I shouldn't have asked. Einherjar! They do occupy
I know your son's story. You should know my daughter's. In the service of a cruel god, I was tricked into destroying a village, not knowing my own wife and child were there until their blood stained my hands. I swore revenge.
That's... I can't imagine.
I paid back their blood 1,000 times and burned Olympus to the ground. Yet, the guilt strength remained. Perhaps you will kill me, Freya. But it will bring you no peace.
Perhaps it is not peace I seek. All those times I found you, why'd you refuse to fight me?
Every outcome would mean defeat.
What does that mean?
I have never wished you harm, Freya. You helped us. You saved Atreus when he was sick. I did not wish to live with killing you, any more than I wished to die.
I see. Oh! My village. I hardly recognize it. I used to play hide and seek with Freyr in the club. We'd spend afternoons stealing honey bread from the Grand Hall. At harvest time, we'd dance and feast until the sun rose. It was all so simple. Why did I have to come back here? You remind me of this.
May Freya never waver.
The other half is missing. May she protect us, always. An old adage, if you will. It wasn't enough what Odin did to me. He's desecrated every memory I have of home.
Be glad you have a home to remember fondly. In Sparta, we were taken from our homes as children and raised in the Agogi. We marched or we drowned, fought for scraps or starved. Our elders beat us till we could not stand. At night, we made our way home, alone, or were food for wolves. That is how Spartans are made.
Well, considering how Spartans are made, it's no wonder you turned out as you did. Your fate was sealed from the start.
Fate can be overcome.
I used to think so. When the Norns told me of my son's fate, I thought I could change it. You know well how that worked out.
The Norns, the fates of these lands.
That's right. You defy prophecy at your own peril.
Atreus would agree with you about prophecy. He rushes blindly to a fate the giants foretold. Disappears for 2 days, trying to prove he is their champion, fabled to fight at Ragnarok.
What? I know all the Ragnarok prophecies. There's no champion of the giants.
It is one glow concealed. Because of this champion, the realms are saved at Ragnarok. Only Asgard falls, and Odin with it.
So all this time, Odin's obsession with every detail of Ragnarok, he's been missing a crucial piece. Huh. Well done, Grove.
Atreus will not be a pawn of prophecy.
You still stand against fate, even with victory foretold.
I will not march my son to war. He is no Spartan. I would keep it that way.
You would speak to me of protecting your child? Is my tragedy not enough of a lesson? Fighting fate is a waste of the precious time we're given to spend with them. You never know when someone will come along and cut it short. How can you, of anyone alive, be squeamish about war? After all the gods you've killed.
I have seen enough war to know the cost.
And I don't. The price I paid to end one. Look around you. See what happens when we don't fight a true evil. That's one of Odin's captains. Be ready.
Ragnarok will not bring back what you have lost, any more than killing me.
I am reaching my limit of enlightened platitudes from you today. Can you please just shut up and kill things?
Do not tell me to kill again.
What?
I killed to protect my son, to aid my friends. But I will be no one's monster. Never again.
You don't get to make that choice. Not with the debt you owe me.
I am not here for debts. I would always have helped you.
So much has been taken from me, and I'm just supposed to let it all go?
Freya.
Enough. Let's go. It's just past those doors up ahead. There. I feel the source of the magic keeping me in Midgard.
What is this place?
My home. I was born here. Hold on. Something's not right. Opinbera. World Tree roots, found in Odin's damn knots. That's how he did it. Come on! Nidhogg!
Creature! It belongs to Odin?
No! It protects Yggdrasil's roots, wherever they are. Bastard was counting on it. Drag it out! Don't let it fight! In that case!
Hurry!
I'm just going to stop here because I didn't realize it's like mid-fight and mid-action sequence. But this reminds me very much of the scene described at Ragnarok when after Odin is killed by Fenrir, his son Vidar is he faces off against Fenrir and he very much he pries his jaw open in the same way. And there's I'll show here some of the visual depictions of that particular scene. So it must be a reference to that.
Finally! It's going back in!
We will not let it!
I have to break his hold on me, and you are in the way! That's the ripple!
Is it done?
It's over. It's really over.
And now that you have what you seek,
I suppose this is the point where I forgive you, where I kill you.
Have you decided?
To be honest, I don't think I can do either. There's still a part of me that is so angry that it'll always be. It'll always be angry. But no. You are not the one who needs to die. I do see that. Look. Everything that's happened between us.
No need to explain. Not to me. Not for that. I do not regret saving your life, and never will. But the choice between life and death should have been yours to make. I should not have robbed you of that choice.
The victim of Odin.
I am myself again. I suppose it's time to face my brother.
And after that?
I don't know. It's been a long time since I've had a choice. Let me live with that for a moment.
Your brother seemed open to your return.
Oh, I'm sure he'd love nothing more than for everything to go back to how it was. Leaving the responsibilities of leadership to me. It's not as though I want to be angry with Freyr. He's my brother. He was the most important person in the world to me for half my life. Could I ever think of this place as home again? After all that's happened. Skull and Hati are in Vanaheim?
We learned the giants rescued them from Odin and brought them here.
And look. The sunlight wakes the sleeping roots. See how they stretch to welcome the sun? Beautiful, no? A far cry from the sheets of Midgard snow I've grown accustomed to. The Eastern Migration. It's just as I remember it. At least the whole realm hasn't fallen to predators and occupiers. I guess there's still something to be fought for here. Something to defend even after so much damage has been done. Maybe that goes for Freyr, too. So much has happened since I last saw Freyr. I'm not even sure where to begin.
What do you want from him?
An apology would be a start. I want to forgive him. I'd like to think he's changed. He's all I have left now. Did you ever apologize to Deimos?
It is difficult to seek forgiveness when you feel unworthy. Forgiveness can be powerful, even for the unworthy. My wife Faye taught me that.
Well, be glad you have a spouse to remember fondly. All my former spouse taught me was that there's no limit to the depth to which a soul can sink into darkness. Tricked me into marriage to spare my home, and took my home just the same. Scattered my people to the wind. Maybe it's time somebody drew the line. Maybe it's time someone makes Groa's prophecy come true.
I will not wish for war, Freya.
War is a terrible thing, Kratos. But some things are even worse. You know, if Atreus rushes to Ragnarok, you may not be able to stop him.
I will.
And if you fail?
I have prepared him to survive without me, if he must.
So what's next for you, if not preparing for war?
I do not know, but I will take no chances with Atreus.
Well, you may want to think fast, unless you want someone to make that choice for you.
Ready?
As I ever will be.
No.
So Nauth means something like peace or quietness, and it's not, as far as I know, an attested nickname of Freya, but it seems to be kind of within the spirit of pet nicknames. She calls him Yngvi, which is attested, and he calls her Nauth, and the idea of peace being associated with the Vanir also makes a lot of sense.
It really is you. You returned to us at last.
Yes.
Let's celebrate. You reclaim the throne, we'll rebuild, me and you against the world. Huh? Just like the old days.
I'm not staying.
I don't understand. You're here. Maybe together we can take back what's ours.
I only just got back what's mine. I still have work to do.
You've seen what's left of the realm, right? Do we really mean that little to you?
You question my loyalty? Vanaheim turned its back on me.
Oh, you still can't let go of that old fight?
It was my duty to save as many of our people as possible. My responsibility. One you didn't take seriously then, and from the looks of it, one you don't now.
You think this is a game to me?
Yeah.
We lost everything to that maniac you called husband. The man's family set me on fire. How did you expect me to react?
Like my brother! Like the boy that used to have my back no matter what! And who I always supported no matter how selfish his choices. I expected you to come and find me. That no matter how hurt or angry, you wouldn't abandon me when I needed you the most.
Freya, please. I thought you were dead. I've had to live lifetimes with those last awful words I said to you. Have any idea what that's like? Knowing that your own selfishness hurt the person that you cared about the most. Abandon you. I mourned you. Oh, I've missed you so much.
And are you, Ingrid? But I won't bind myself to another realm when I finally have my freedom. I'll send help, though. And I will come back. I promise.
This hasn't been your home for a long time, has it? Do what you gotta do.
All right, that's enough. Ain't y'all got nothing better to do than gawking at family sorting squabbles? Come on, you two. Not you. Got a few things to square with y'all. First is you collecting your spare heads. Second is that sigil magic I smell on your bow. Reckon that's an idea I'll steal. How's about I set you up with some sonic mojo? Call it a trade.
Very well.
Third of all, if you ain't staying here, bears mentioning that Sindri and I find ourselves running a flop house for unemployed gods. If you're done freezing your backside off in Midgard, maybe come back with Beardo there. Check up on your old pal Tyr.
That's kind of you, Brock. I may do just that. An old Vanaheim lullaby. Done exploring, Kratos? I remember where to look for a gateway. Follow me.
Well, you two seem to be getting on since completing your mission. Dare I hope this alliance has some staying power after all?
It seems to me we share a common enemy. Kratos, you may not accept that Ragnarok is inevitable, but you're smart enough to know Odin is a threat. Whatever comes next, our best chance of surviving it is to work together. Do you agree?
I do.
Then as to Brock's offer, you can imagine staying under the same roof as a couple former enemies? No further temptations towards terrible vengeance?
Not against you. Either of you. You have my word.
Okay, I loved everything about that one. I really loved in particular, I mean, in addition to the reunion between Freya and Freyr, I really liked the part of this particular segment where Kratos and Freya are off together and they're talking, and he's talking and opening up about his past, and they're connecting. And I think one of the things that's really cool about this game, beyond the really awesome ways that I think it kind of plays with elements of Norse mythology and Old Norse language. You'll see I've translated the various phrases throughout. It draws on, I think, very, very common and universal human experiences and familial relationships. So relationships between parents and their children, relationships between brothers and sisters. In previous episodes, we have the relationship between a granddaughter and grandmother, and the various, I think, like complexities and challenges, and also the various wonderful things that can come out of these relationships as well. So I like that despite the fact that, they're in this particular universe and it's, they're obviously trying to draw upon, Norse mythology and elements of that, as well as Kratos's past. Beyond that, what they are looking at is something I think is highly relatable. And I really love the story. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how the cohabitation of even more gods in Brock and Sindri's treehouse is going to go. Yeah, once again, we had more about prophecy, and I want to sort of harken back to what I said before that in the sagas, it's very common for female characters to correctly interpret prophecy and to take it a lot more seriously, and for male characters to sort of dismiss it or sort of be in denial about it. Of course, we see Atreus as an exception to this. Perhaps that's due to the fact that Loki himself in the mythology is a figure who sort of transcends gender boundaries as, someone who actually shapeshifts into the form of a female horse and gives birth to the eight-legged horse Sleipnir. So maybe that's sort of the reason for the exception to that. Also, he's not a full-grown adult. Maybe that could be an element at play as well. But I did want to bring up that once again, we're having Freya, who seems to kind of understand in hindsight that her fate and Baldur's fate was sealed, and that the futility of trying to fight against that, and when she's sort of looking back in retrospect. But Kratos really being resistant to accept fate and its inevitability. So with that, I will say goodbye and we'll look forward to the next episode. So please leave your questions and comments, like and follow, and we'll see you on the next one.